Animals and birds typically choose their mates based on a few primary strategies, often driven by simple genetic or instinctual mechanisms. Humans, however, have far more complex and varied ways of selecting a partner, which are influenced by the development of intelligence, social environments, and technology. When considering a partner, we evaluate not only health, hormonal balance, beliefs, and behavioral patterns but also as a source of various resources, financial and emotional. The choice of monogamy is also significant, as most modern men and women prefer to build long-term relationships based on mutual support and trust. In today's world, the process of seduction has shifted from simply attracting attention to avoiding repelling the other person. It's more about subtlety and carefulness so as not to scare off potential partners. Therefore, today I want to discuss a topic that concerns many: what exactly repels men from women? What behaviors, attitudes, and traits can hinder the development of healthy relationships? Aggressive behavior. Evolutionarily, the male's psyche is tuned to suppress sources of aggression in his environment. Men are accustomed to perceiving conflicts as battles where the goal is either to win or to perish. Women, on the other hand, are more flexible and capable of adapting, smoothing out sharp edges, and diffusing conflicts in order to preserve harmony. This is because women are physically weaker than men and carry a greater responsibility for offspring. The primary goal has always been survival and the continuation of the family. Men tend to react to aggression with aggression, responding to threats with force, often risking everything. For example, a dispute over a parking spot may seem trivial, but for a man whose psyche hasn't adapted to modern realities, it can feel like an existential challenge, a matter of honor, status, and dignity. Being in a constantly aggressive environment shapes a man's worldview. He perceives nearly everything around him as a potential threat. When a woman behaves confrontationally or aggressively, it signals to him that she might be dangerous or weak, and he perceives her as a threat to his safety or status. If she acts rudely or arrogantly, he might interpret it as her not respecting him as a man, which triggers his instinct to react defensively. From his perspective, such behavior is a challenge to his dominance, and he responds either by asserting himself or by avoiding conflict altogether. As a result, aggressive, rude, or overly confrontational women are one of the fastest ways to push a man away. In ancient times, such behavior might have led to deadly consequences. Nowadays, it's enough just to walk away. Since men are often in an aggressive environment and interpret conflicts as battles for their status, their consciousness tends to ignore alternative ways of resolving disputes. Anything around him can be perceived as potentially hostile, and when a woman begins to act as a threat, healthy relationships become impossible. Rude or defiant behavior from a woman, who believes she can confront a man openly, will be viewed from two perspectives. She shouldn't behave that way, therefore, she isn't truly a woman, and he has every right to respond with equal force. She is foolish and unaware of her own behavior, like a chihuahua barking at an elephant. Approaching her aggressively would be shameful. It's like taking a toy away from a 2-year-old. In the first case, the woman risks getting a slap or a serious confrontation. In the second, she is simply avoided. As they say, in a fight with a woman, both victory and defeat are failures for a man. The most common answer to the question what repels men from women is aggressive behavior, rudeness, arrogance, and conflictiveness. A few thousand years ago, such women might have been killed immediately, but today they are simply ignored. Coercion into family life. Simple misunderstandings of each other's psychology often lead to unnecessary conflicts. Girls from childhood prepare themselves to be homemakers, future wives, and mothers. Not everyone dreams of this explicitly, but through play and observation, they develop an idea of what they want from life. Boys, on the other hand, have entirely different perceptions of the world. Therefore, at the beginning of a relationship, it is important for a man to feel like a predator, to demonstrate his ability to provide and to assert himself. Let's not reveal the secret that the woman always makes the choice. Most men prefer the version where they are the conquerors. The goal is to show that you are in demand, completely inaccessible to others, but absolutely available for him. To put it simply, many want me, I have nothing, but to you, everything is possible. Once a woman is perceived as a possession, not in the sense of slavery, but as a symbol of status, it becomes crucial to demonstrate her need for a partner. Small gestures like opening a jar or helping to move a heavy piece of furniture may seem trivial but work subconsciously on a man's mind. They make him feel like a protector, a provider. As long as he perceives his woman as someone who needs his care and attention, he will be motivated to show concern, to feel important and valued. However, many women make a mistake here. They initially portray themselves as unavailable, then later repeatedly say, "Why do I need you, anyway?" Or "I can do everything myself." If you study male psychology even a little, you'll realize that there's nothing more foolish than this approach. Men who follow the principle "you must pursue me, first court me, then you'll decide and I can do everything myself" are not only pushed away but also completely repelled. A confident man will never get involved with such a woman. How does this relate to everyday life? It's simple. From the very first days, women expect the man to show himself as a provider and a family man, to start proving his worth and solving her problems. But at the same time, they openly state that they do not belong to him and can manage without him. It's absurd. Caring for someone else's woman is pointless. Investing extra effort just for praise is pointless squared. What result were you expecting? It's unclear. You're simply forcing him into a kind of household slavery that runs counter to his beliefs and instincts. Unhealed wounds after experiencing relationship failures. A woman's psyche often pushes out needles, trying to prevent repeating the same painful experience. She begins to demand too much from a new partner, constantly talks about how terrible her ex was, emphasizing that she's now wiser and won't fall for such a loser again. But how she assumes she's become smarter is unclear. Such situations seem common but tend to repel men for two main reasons. Responsibility overload. You're no longer entering into a relationship, you're conducting an interview. You need to prove you're better than the ex, convince him you're worth it. Do you know how? Are you experienced at this? Are you familiar with what you're doing? Or do you ask, would you do this? My ex sometimes drank, do you? How much do you earn? I spent 3 years on him, and he still didn't propose. As a result, this turns into a contest, where the man feels pressured to prove his superiority. Influence of surrounding environment. If a woman constantly talks about her past mistakes and bad relationships, she creates a negative image of herself, that she's unworthy of a good partner, with a low self-esteem level. Men see only this message, and not good enough, and tend to avoid. Often, such women are surrounded by unreliable, drunken, or aggressive people, which only confirms their own negative self-image. If she talks about seeing a psychologist and putting her mind in order, that's a good sign she's made genuine progress. If not, her negative attitude will only push away healthy men. Putting the child first. A classic mistake, making the child a priority in the relationship. A man, when getting to know a woman, wants to feel like the main, strong figure who can provide stability. But instead, he often finds himself cast as a secondary participant, while the child becomes the center of attention. The child always receives the most care, love, and attention, but the woman forgets that in a healthy relationship, there should be no most important person. Love is limitless, but everyone needs their share. The child should be surrounded by affection, but within reasonable boundaries. There should be time for the woman herself, time for the child, and time for the man, work, and rest. The sooner this balance is understood, the faster the unhealthy attachment style and resentment towards women with children disappear. Overly focusing on the child teaches the child that the world revolves only around him, and the mother's personal life is secondary. The woman begins to feel she's sacrificed her happiness, her pleasures, and her freedom for the sake of her child, and then later resents the child for taking everything. Meanwhile, the man simply feels useless and unimportant. His needs are ignored, and he's treated just as a resource. Constantly lacking time and attention from his partner, he gradually becomes indifferent or leaves. Learning to distribute attention and care so that everyone feels valued is crucial. Otherwise, everyone around will be unhappy, including yourself. In conclusion, how to build healthy relationships? If you're asking yourself what pushes men away, the answer lies in understanding your own behavior and attitudes. Many women believe they need to look perfect, always be cheerful, and obedient to attract a man. But the real key is sincerity, respect, and mutual trust. Relationships are built not just on external attraction but on inner harmony. Listening, caring, respecting boundaries. A relationship isn't a competition, it's a joint journey. Trying to compete, demand proof, or play the who's stronger game will only destroy it. If both partners rely on mutual respect and honesty, they can create a stable, harmonious union. Those who fail to understand this will find themselves constantly searching for reasons why their partners are drifting away, and the main reason is their own mistakes. Building good relationships requires work on yourself, the ability to listen and understand the other, not just trying to change or control. When both partners do that, instead of fighting for a place under the sun, they can create a strong, happy family based on trust and mutual support.